18 years old.
She was like an old soul. She was always a little bit older than her age.
Off to college, her whole life ahead of her.
She grew up to be this beautiful young lady with long blonde curls.
Then Brittany Phillips was brutally murdered in her Tulsa apartment. Who killed her and why?
It could have been somebody she let in. It could have been somebody that she actually knew.
A mystery of more than 20 years that's still revealing new clues. A murder that has inspired a cross-country quest to catch a killer.
I felt helpless. I felt like I've got to be able to do more.
Brittany Phillips was a true Renaissance woman, according to her mother, Dr. Maggie Zingman.
She was into ballet and gymnastics. She loved to sing. She actually acted with me in a couple of shows. She was so adorable with her curls.
At 18, Brittany was excited to move to Tulsa, just an hour away from her mom, to start classes at Tulsa Community College and to get an apartment on her own.
It was 8 quad with 4 apartments. We thought it was safe.
It was a September day when Maggie would talk to her daughter for the last time. Brittany was calling from an urgent care with sinus problems.
She called me at about 8:30 or 9 from that urgent care, and she was very upset because that was Brittany. If things didn't go her way, she got very upset. And she'd been there 2 hours, and they kept delaying her. And she said, okay, I'm going to drop my friend home, and then I'm going to go home and go to bed because I have early classes. And that was the last time I talked to her.
3 days later, after Brittany wasn't seen in class, police performed a welfare check and made a horrible discovery. Brittany appeared to have been strangled.
She was on the floor just next to the bed. She was wearing a shirt, and her feet were facing the head of the bed, and her head was facing the foot of the bed.
At the scene, investigators have little to go on until they discover some DNA.
Semen was found on the sheets, the blood was found in a sink, and they were matching. So this was the assumption that was made, that this is the guy that we need to be looking for.
But it would later be determined the DNA belonged to Brittany's best friend's boyfriend, who had spent time at the apartment. He was ruled out after providing a solid alibi.
It turned out that that person was not the person.
But the heartbroken Maggie wasn't about to give up. She had a hunch the suspected killer could be a drifter, so years later, she started traveling across the country in her bright purple and pink Kia, adorned with pictures of Brittany and a number to call for tips.
I came up with Caravan to catch a killer, and now we have 5 cars. I have traveled to 48 states and covered about 300,000 miles on 23 tours. Part of the way you survive this is you feel like you're doing something to help, whether it's to help others or to help your own case.
And the latest developments bring even more mystery. A greeting card, believed to be mailed by Brittany for her grandfather, had a post office stamp dated September 29, 2 days after police believe Brittany died.
It is a new piece of evidence, a metered stamp dated what would have been the day after Brittany supposedly died, and we're talking like a full, roughly 24 hours. So that alters the timeline, and that's a big deal.
And another break. DNA found under Brittany's fingernails has been sent to a lab for more advanced level testing, now available to investigators. Results are pending.
I thought maybe you would want to send those off sooner rather than later, but I do understand that, they had semen and blood, so they thought that was going to be the thing.
As Maggie waits, the caravan will continue searching for answers as she is forever haunted by the horrors of what happened to her only daughter.
Brittany, whenever she would be in trouble, whenever she was hurt, whenever she was in trouble, even when she was 18. She started going, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." My worst fears were that that's what she was doing when she was being murdered. I really hope she did die instantly, because I know she would have been screaming for me.
If you have any information about the murder of Brittany Phillips, the Tulsa police have set up a hotline, 918-596-COPS. You can also contact our tip line at 888-845-7555.